Is it hot out today or no? It's not.
Yeah, it was definitely hot out. Let me see what it was. It's 97 right now. So I guess not
Yeah.
hot, but
Not as bad as before.
yeah.
Dude, I have a class at 6,
Oh my,
like PM.
oh, PM.
Yeah, not AM. Thank
Mhm.
God. But 6 p.m. and like I left yesterday and it was 104 at 6 p.m. I was like, dude, what is going on?
I know it's crazy. It like doesn't cool off at night.
No, I
So
forgot. The
annoying.
sun has to be like down for it to go under 90 at
Yeah,
least. And even
yeah.
then, it doesn't even go under 90. It's insane. Um,
I don't
okay.
know if I should like I moved my desk. This is what it would like normally be.
Uh-huh.
Like I would be sitting kind of right there.
Yeah.
Should I do that for a better background? Because this is just so bland. I was thinking of something of like putting something up here, but
It's up to you if you want to
yeah.
have it on background or like do something makeshift. So if you like it how it is now most of the time, but just for recording, if you want to do something so show some background or
Yeah,
just put like something.
like a green screen thing.
Yeah, so I was gonna get like pins so I could put my jerseys
Oh,
back
that
there as
yeah,
well and like
yeah.
posters and stuff.
All
Um, because that
right.
mine is also pretty bland. Yeah, it's up to you if
Do
you
you have
want to do it.
anything like any decorations right now?
No, it's like legitimately just nothing. Like it's just like it's just straight bland. Last year I didn't have
Oh,
anything
maybe.
either, and like I don't know,
Oh,
I
really?
just keep forgetting. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I think I'm gonna do it this time. I'll get something to put up.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Sideline. My name is Rishi Oza,
My name's Asher Hire.
and it has been a long time. I think our last one was probably like 2 weeks ago. Uh, I don't even remember what we
I mean, maybe
talked
even
about.
longer. Like, what what did we
I
talk
don't
about?
even remember what we talked about in our last one, but it has been. I think it was a trade deadline for MLB.
Oh yeah.
So
Wow.
like
Okay.
end of July, probably. Like
Yeah, that was a long time ago. Let me see when our
yeah. So
okay, I guess it says 2 weeks ago. I feel like it's like almost 3 weeks ago.
it's probably closer to 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it has definitely been a while. Not much that we really could have talked about. It was just baseball, but there really weren't any crazy stories besides the
Hmm.
trade deadline. So we just didn't have anything to talk about. But
Yeah.
preseason week 1 has concluded, and the Broncos are in full swing for the season. They won their first game against Dallas. Both of us did go to training camp practice. You went to the joint one.
Hmm.
So did you have any like takeaways besides all the fighting that happened, I guess?
Yeah, I mean that was fun to watch, but I was by like there's like two fields. And I was kind of right by the field with the Broncos defense and the Cowboys offense. And I mean the Broncos defense was pretty much dominating, other than like this like big CD Lamb catch in the end zone for like 40 something yards. The defense was really balling. Like Chubb, I think, played really well. It was kind of hard to see the individual players other than like the safeties and stuff. It was hard to see what was going on at the line of scrimmage, but I think Chubb played really well. Simmons almost had an interception, but it bounced right off his hands in the end zone. Um, they looked good though. They definitely looked good. And then the offense, I couldn't really see the offense too much. Um, I mean, there are plays here and there. I think the offense has kind of been a little spotty in training camp, especially yesterday. I heard or I
Hmm.
saw that the defense was absolutely dominating the offense. And that's kind of what I think has been the whole story around preseason, is how good the defense has been playing, and the offense is just, I mean, it's just average right now. But I feel like going into this year, that's what I would have wanted to hear. Other
Yeah.
than the offense is really great and the defense sucks, it's kind of the other way around. And I feel like the offense can get better, and it's promising to see the defense that is a slight question mark, which is way different than what it has been, the past like 6 years. But they look good.
Yeah, it was the same. I kind of similar to what happened when I went. I went on like the 8th of August. It was a Monday. It wasn't like a full practice. Like when you went there, I don't know if they're going 100%, but they're probably definitely going harder than
Yeah.
the when I went. So, but I think defense was definitely the takeaway that I saw. Um, I thought the defense really, really played well. The secondary, especially in pass coverage, the coverage was so sticky,
Mhm.
and it was really, really hard for receivers to get open. And the same thing as you said, I don't think that like I'm okay with that being a storyline because the defense was a little bit of a question mark with Vic Fangio leaving. We didn't know how it was going to work because as many concerns as we had about Vic Fangio as a head coach, the one thing that we did know about him is that he was a phenomenal defensive mind and he knew how to get defensive players right. But it looks like at least at the starting level, the defense is gonna be just fine. And yeah, like Pat Surtain has had a phenomenal camp. He's been playing really, really well. He's been the number one corner. Um, Michael Ojemudia I thought he had a good game against Dallas, and he's gonna have to step up. Um, yeah, I think defense has definitely been the main thing through camp as kind of the surprise because I thought the offense was going to be the thing. It's like, oh, you got a new quarterback, you got all that, it'll be good. But the
Mhm.
fact that the defense is playing so well against a revamped offense um, is really, really impressive to me. And a guy on offense, I guess I should say, stand out, who I guess a lot of more people are starting to notice is Brandon Johnson.
Mhm.
The offensive coordinator Justin Allen talked about him yesterday. Um, and he caught a touchdown against Dallas in the game. He got reps with the ones. When I was there, at least he caught a really long pass from Josh Johnson again. But he's been really, really good. And with the Tim Patrick injury, uh, that's a big, big plus to have a guy like that. Just like a Tim Patrick kind of role, a deep threat, a jump ball threat, a guy who's reliable. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there have been two receivers. So Brandon Johnson was undrafted, and it looks like he's going to make the team. I don't know for sure, but he had a phenomenal preseason week one, and
mhm.
then I was going to say Montreal Washington has looked
Yep.
really good, and he was the guy. I knew there was someone on the offense that was really killing it the day that I went there to their practice. And it was Montreal Washington. Like I just saw so many catches from him. Of course, he was fielding the punt returns and the kick returns, and he was doing well on that. But I think his receiving skills and his route running has really impressed the Broncos, and it's not really something that they kind of expected out of a guy who was drafted pretty much purely to just be a returner, at least early on in his career. But it looks like he's really fighting for, the wide receiver 4 spot,
Mhm.
behind Sutton, Judy, and Hamler. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. As you said, it's nice to have these receivers step up as Tim Patrick goes down. And yeah, I'm excited. We'll see what happens tomorrow is week 2. We'll see how much the starters play, as you said, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. The Bills are going to play a decent amount of
Mhm.
starters tomorrow. Probably not for too long, maybe for 2 drives at the most. Um, but I don't. By all sounds of it, the Broncos won't play any starters until week 3, which I'm more than okay with,
Yeah.
especially with the Tim Patrick injury. And then last week, Jonas Griffith on like the second play of the game, he goes down and he's out for 4 to
Mhm.
6 weeks. He might not be ready week 1, um, which is really, really unfortunate. So you obviously don't want to see that happen any more key starters. So I'm okay with that not happening. I'm fine with just seeing Josh Johnson and
Yeah.
Brett Rippon play again. Um, Another wide receiver that I thought has played really well, it was Jalen Virgil. He has been making some plays. I don't know, he might get cut and put on a practice squad during final roster cuts, not next week, but the week after. But he looked really good with Brett Rippon at least, and he's been making plays in training camp. But the wide receiver depth is definitely not an issue for the Broncos, and I think that's a great sign. With Tim Patrick going down, that wide receiver room was already 4 like deep, like legitimately very like starting caliber receivers. Now it's probably only 3, but you'd have guys who can fill in and play these spots like Brandon Johnson, Kendall Hinton, Montreal Washington. Jalen Virgil, all these different guys, which I think is really, really good. And I think with hopefully an offensive minded team, offensive minded coach, that'll play well in the regular season. So like, wait, do you care about the starters not playing? Like,
No, I don't. I mean, I prefer it that they don't play, as Hackett said. Like, it's just too much of a risk, man. Like, I don't think the risk of having like a season-ending injury to one of your best players is, reaps the rewards of having them be a little more prepared week one or something. But yeah, I like what Hackett's doing, just sitting them out until the last week, and they can get some runs in for a little bit of that third preseason game, and everyone be fully healthy, because that's really the goal. And usually the teams that win at the end are one of the healthiest teams in the league. And so many teams have been derailed by injuries, like the Niners the past couple of years, the Ravens last year. All that Ravens stuff happened in like training camp and preseason.
Very early in the season.
Yeah, and then I mean, the Broncos too, having to deal with Chubb preseason injuries, and Von Miller, and Sutton was hurt early on. So yeah, I don't care that if I don't care to have Melvin Gordon getting like 5 carries in a preseason game. Like, I don't understand the point of that. But
I think a big part of preseason, it is to kind of knock the rust off and stuff like that, which is definitely good, because you don't want to go into week one, especially a game for Denver, which should be very easily winnable against Seattle. You don't want to have to go into that game and have the entire first half just be a half where you're knocking off the rust and making all these mistakes, and then you suddenly you're in a dogfight week one against a team you should be blowing the doors off of. So I understand that aspect of it, but at the same time, I think somebody said, I don't know if it was Hackett or if it was another coach, but they were like, you can't win the Super Bowl in the preseason, but you can definitely lose it if you get a key player injured. And I think that's a really good mentality to have. Like, there's no reason. You already lost Tim Patrick, and that was in training camp too. Like, that wasn't even a game rep, but you could definitely lose players to game reps. I mean, look at Zach Wilson. The Jets dodged a massive bullet with him only having like a slight meniscus tear. Like that, they dodged a huge bullet. And if he had gone down, this entire season would have just been a waste, because that's an entire year of development gone. Yeah. And then you're stuck with Joe Flacco at age like a million for 17 games. So
I mean, that sets you back so many years if you think about it, because Wilson next year will just be going into like his second year of like actual play, and then he struggle, and then if he does struggle, next year or whatever in his second year, like, then what do you do? And it all comes back to that torn ACL because you played him in week one of the preseason.
There's so many consequences to think about when it goes into that. And then also, like, playing these starters, it just especially with only 3 preseason games now, it's just going to take away opportunities from these undrafted 7th round picks who might not have a chance at making the team if the starters play and take away reps from them, which I think for coaches is probably way more valuable than seeing Russell Wilson throw 3 passes and then sitting. So I think that's definitely more important to the coaches. So I'm fine with the starters not playing. I really could care less. You're gonna see them play at some point. It doesn't matter when it happens; it's gonna happen. That's all I care about. So, they do play Buffalo. It'll be Von Miller's first game against Denver, which I wish it was in Denver, but it's in Buffalo, which kind of sucks. Oh wait, what time is the game tomorrow? Is it in the afternoon or
it's at 10
a.m.?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I know.
I'm even gonna be awake for that.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Oh my god. I remember like last year. Well, it's been the past 2 years. I think it only goes for like the first half of the football season, but like all those early games starting at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And like, there's just no, I mean, you can't, I'm not like ready to like drink or anything at 10 a.m.
Yeah. I wake up and I'm in bed for like a good 20 minutes before I'm like, all right, now let me get up
Yeah.
and start my day. And that's almost always after 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna wake up and be like, oh boy, let me
I know,
get my
right?
day started with some preseason football. God, I'll do my best to do it.
Yeah,
Dang.
I had to set alarms last year to wake up just to watch
Yeah.
football. Like I had to set alarm on Sundays just to watch football. But I think that ends, I don't know, like week 10 or something, like the daylight or whatever
Yeah.
the
Well, I don't
Arizona doesn't switch times, but like
the rest of the country
yeah, and
does.
then it becomes 11 a.m. So it's a little
Yeah.
later, but dude, and I also hate how like all the games are over by like 8 o'clock, and it's like, bruh, like I wish there would just be a game on like until like 10 or something that you could just have in the background throughout the
Yeah.
night. But it ends
Yeah.
at 8, and then when it's 8, it's like, okay, now what? Like
Yeah.
everything's just
Now I have to focus on the homework I've been putting on all
yeah, I
day. Like, no,
guess.
I
I
needed
guess
more
that's
time.
yeah.
I needed more time to procrastinate. That the Pacific time that Arizona's in is definitely tough. I like it for basketball season because the games are earlier in the day. Like I instead of having to wait until like 7 for games, I could just do them at 6.
Yeah,
Like
same with baseball.
yeah, the same with baseball. Like that's nicer, but for football, it's like I already have to wake up and like get my
I
day
know.
started, and now I got
Yeah.
to do that like an hour earlier. Oh my god.
Yeah, because football is like a whole day event. And
Yeah.
like to have that start at like 10, no.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to like skip like the first half of some games like
Yeah.
this season. It'll be tough. Um, what else? What else is there to talk about? I
Um,
guess it's still been kind of still a little like
slow
yeah, it's very very
in sports
slow.
world.
Yeah, the NBA schedule came out. If we want to talk about that a little bit, the Nuggets. Well, Nuggets preseason schedule also came out today. Um, let me see if I could find it. I know they had 2 games confirmed before, which was like Chicago and somebody, but now the first preseason game is October 3rd versus OKC. Uh, and I believe that'll be the first time we see Jamal Murray play again. Because he did say he was going to try and come back during preseason. Who knows if it'll be the first game? But we'll see. We don't know. We do know that Jokic is playing right now for Serbia in the Eurobasket stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, he played Luca yesterday.
mhm.
I think finished with like 26 points. I can't remember the rest. It was like 13 and 6 or something like that.
Yeah,
I didn't watch the game.
I
But
watched like the second quarter and then the fourth quarter in overtime.
yeah, I heard he wasn't like that great. Like
There
a lot of
was
missed free throws.
yeah, he went like 12 for 19 from the free throw line or something, and they Serbia lost by 5 in overtime, and he missed like 6 or 7 in regulation.
Mhm.
So he definitely wasn't at his best. It was still good, and it was still nice to just like see him play basketball
Yeah.
because he didn't like there was some passes that he made were like, oh nice, like that's vintage Jokic where he's like
Yeah.
getting doubled and it's a no look pass to a dunker spot, and then where it's just him backing down and then a post hook. Like it's just like the simplest of things.
I know, but it's just so beautiful.
It's
I
so
know I
nice.
know like exactly what you're like talking
It's
about.
just so nice to see it. I was very
Mhm.
happy watching that. Vlatko hit the game winner in that. He hit a 3 to put
Oh wow.
Slovenia up 2 with like 40 seconds left or something.
You know how
Uh,
Luca was playing?
he played really well. He had like 34, I think. He's built for international like
Yeah, yeah.
he the players who are like the only guys on their team who can do anything are like they put up the most ridiculous stat. Like Larry Markkinen had like 42 against Ukraine
Did he
yesterday.
really?
Like yeah, it's like yeah, he's plays for Finland. Like who else is playing for
Yeah,
Finland? Like, of course
yeah.
he's gonna have crazy stat. Luka's like that for Slovenia. Like there are some obviously like Vlatko is another NBA player for them.
Mhm.
Goran Dragic's brother plays for them. Goran himself, I think, might be playing for them. I'm not sure, but they do have some players. But like Serbia has Jokic. They also have Micic, who's like the EuroLeague MVP. So it's like it's not like there's just nobodies on the team. But
Boban on that team.
he might be. I think he is. I'm not sure. I didn't see him play yesterday, but I think he is. I mean, I know he's from Serbia, but I don't know if he is there yet. But yeah, it was fun. I know. I think on the 25th, Serbia and Greece play, so it'll be Jokic versus Giannis. Which I will do my best to watch. I don't know what time it'll be. It'll be during the week, so I don't know if I'll have classes at that point.
Yeah, do you know where you can even can you even just look up like a FIBA schedule?
You can probably look up the schedule, but I don't I found like a link. Just some like a Nuggets reporter tweeted out. I don't remember who. They tweeted a link, and I was just using that, but I don't remember. I don't know if there's any like reliable way to watch it.
Way to watch, yeah. Wait, is this going on? And wait, what am I even looking at? Wait, they're not in the FIBA. Is this? I don't even know. Is it FIBA?
I don't know. I think it's Eurobasket.
Oh, okay.
Is what it's called.
I was on like the FIBA Asian Cup. I'm like, okay.
No, yeah, it's Eurobasket, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Eurobasket. It is technically FIBA.
Let me see. Serbia.
Yeah, Serbia's in Group D. Oh, Serbia doesn't win their group. The group is Netherlands, Finland, Poland, Czech Republic, Israel, and then Serbia. If they don't win,
I don't know what I'm like looking at. Like I just see Serbia against Netherlands on September 2nd. Week 1 of 5 of games. Oh, this is probably like after the group stage.
Yeah, probably.
Oh wait, Jokic played today?
That it?
Yeah, it says like just posted today, Jokic Serbia rallies to beat Italy.
Oh.
18 points, including the go-ahead bucket with 105 left. Why are these games close with like Jokic on
I don't know. It was very funny. Serbia had they had a possession to take the lead. They were down 2 in overtime. They had a possession to take the lead. Jokic had post position, and he was asking for the ball. But in as Nuggets fashion as possible, they couldn't make an entry pass, and then this random dude missed 2 wide open threes instead of giving the ball to Jokic. It was like, oh my! I have seen that script happen so many times, and it happened the exact same way. And then some dude,
so weird. How does that happen?
This some dude was like, "Oh yeah, that's why he's never gonna leave the Nuggets because it reminds him of home." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it makes so much sense."
I'm watching this highlight right now. Jokic setting up the offense. This is 86-85 Serbia with 25 seconds left. Jokic with the screen. Okay. He just like pick and rolled and then passed it to like the dunker spot. A classic Jokic pass that we've seen billions of times, but
yeah.
What else? Oh yeah, we were gonna talk about the Deshaun Watson suspension.
Yes, I knew there was something else.
Yeah, he was suspended 11 games like 2 days ago. Much better than the 6-game suspension that was, put on him at first. And I guess they got into like the NFL and the NFLPA got into like a settlement, which is like I think it's just a positive even outside of this case to just have those two sides working together. Because do you think like the MLB and the MLBPA would come to a settlement with Fernando Tatis if he did that? I mean,
no.
So yeah, and then of course the first game back is at Houston.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some good script writing there, but I mean, it's huge for the Browns. Like, obviously, this kills their season. Really, I don't see how they make the playoffs.
Yeah, like Deshaun Watson, as much as a horrible person as he is, he's a very good NFL quarterback, and the Browns do have a good team. But if Jacoby Brissett is starting for 11 games, for those 11 games that he's out, look, I don't know how the Browns do make the playoffs. Like, they still have a phenomenal offensive line. They still have one of the best running back tandems in the NFL, if not the best running back tandem in the NFL, with Hunt and Chubb. I think they did sign David Njoku back, right? They tagged him or something.
I think so. I don't think he went anywhere else. I don't know what they signed him to though.
Okay, so they have a good tight end at least.
Is the Kareem Hunt trade thing like still going around?
I don't know. That happened. It was there for like a day. I haven't heard anything since. But yeah, I don't know if he gets traded or not. I wouldn't trade him if I was Cleveland, because every single running back who is like the bell cow has gotten hurt and kind of screwed up over the past couple of years. You look at McCaffrey, he's been made of glass the last 3 seasons. Alvin Kamara last year got hurt a lot. Dalvin Cook, Zeke Elliott, like all these top running backs.
I mean Nick Chubb gets hurt pretty often.
Yeah. So I would definitely try and keep Hunt, or if you do trade him, get somebody back who can split carries. Well, not split them, but keep Chubb as fresh as possible. But yeah, I don't know if he's gonna get traded. It was weird. I heard about it for a day and then it just went away. Yeah. I don't know if it was a trade request or if it was something else. But
I do see like on this like news tab in Google, like 3 out of these 4 news things I see are like Eagles stuff with Kareem Hunt. Like why the Eagles should trade for Kareem Hunt. And I guess Nick Sirianni was spotted talking to Kareem Hunt amid trade request. So we'll see.
That'd be a good fit in Philly.
Yeah. Oh, Roquan Smith too. I don't know what's happening with that. It seems like now, like these trade requests that are purely because of contract, negotiations and stuff. Like I feel like the players don't really. Well, I mean, I don't know, because Tyreek Hill just got traded, but like Deebo Samuel went back to the Niners, and then like Hunt and Roquan, like there just hasn't been much like talk about it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't, and it's tough because those might be 2 of the, I don't want to say least valuable positions, but they're 2 of the more replaceable positions in football, with middle linebacker and running back. So even if someone does trade for them, that team probably isn't going to re-sign them for the contract that they want. I mean, Roquan Smith wants to be paid as the highest paid linebacker in the NFL, and someone's going to give him that contract. But a smart team probably shouldn't, even though he is very, very good. And then same with Kareem Hunt. Like, he's going to want to be paid like someone who's a top 10, top 15 running back in the NFL, but the person who trades for them probably won't do that. So it's so weird. It's like, I don't know, it's hard. Those are the 2 positions that like trading for and paying are so hard to do, because you don't know what you're going to get from them. You don't know if you can just find, you don't know if you can find someone to replace them immediately after. So
yeah, I mean, especially running back, like
like the NFL is still, everyone is still like trying to process like how much does the running back actually mean. I don't think anyone really has an answer for that.
Mhm.
Like I feel like people now are like, yeah, like don't take a running back first round unless he's a stud, then take him, 25 or whatever. But and there's like 1 or 2 running backs that go in the back end of the first round every year now. But like other than that being probably a general kind of consensus around the NFL as to where running backs should be picked, it's still like how much are they really worth? I mean, people still don't really have the answer. I don't have the answer still, even though I've been like, thinking about it for like the past like 3 years.
Yeah.
I still don't know. So it's tough. Like, and as you said, linebacker too, like there. I mean, there's the studs at linebacker, like the top 5 guys. I feel like are definitely worth their value of like Fred Warner. I think Roquan definitely is in that top 5. And
Yeah.
there's other guys too, but I mean, like you can be fine. I mean, the 2 teams that went to the Super Bowl this year both, don't have a spectacular linebacking group, inside linebacking group, I should say, the edges and stuff. It's a different position for me now. Like calling Von Miller an outside linebacker, that's just I don't know, like that just doesn't. He's an edge, but yeah, like the Rams and the Bengals, no really linebackers on their team, and they made it far too. So it's like, how much are those guys worth too? I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it's so hard to judge how good they are because those guys are kind of parallel linebackers and running backs, and when you look at them, like a linebacker is supposed to stop a running back, right? Like in the run game, it's supposed to be the linebacker who makes a tackle on a running back, but the NFL has become so aerial now that edge rushers, cornerbacks, quarterbacks, receivers are probably all more valuable to a team than stopping a run because, or than running backs and linebackers because they're put towards passing the ball and stopping the pass as opposed to running the ball and stopping the run.
Yeah. Also, like, I feel like a great linebacker is like a great finishing touch to a great defense, because when you think of Seattle, you don't think of Bobby Wagner right away, but he was, a perfect finishing touch to a great passing defense. And it feels like the best running defenses always have the best defensive lines, and the best passing defenses always have the best secondary. So then it's like, where does the linebacker fit into that? I just think, like, if you put a really good linebacker on a bad team, like Roquan Smith, I don't know how much of an impact that really has for you in winning ball games or boosting you into like a top 10 defense. But if you've got the secondary figured out and then the defensive line figured out, then like Danny Trevathan was great and Brandon Marshall was great. So I feel like linebackers, like, they kind of like ebb and flow with how well the team has been doing, because it's not like Bobby Wagner has saved that Seahawks defense since Legion of Boom was gone. So and then with the Niners and stuff, Fred Warner, it's the defensive line that got him to the Super Bowl. So yeah, linebackers are an interesting position too.
Yeah, I was thinking of Dan Trevathan and Brandon Marshall, or as you said them, like that Broncos defense. Like, yes, those two were very key in getting the Broncos where they were, that defense. But you don't think of Brandon Marshall and Dan Trevathan, you think of the defense. You think of Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware. You think of Chris Harris, Aqib Talib, Darian Stewart, TJ Ward. Like, you think of those guys. You don't think of the 2 guys in the middle. But yeah, I think you're spot on. They're great compliments, but I don't think they're guys that you're going to build around right now. So I think a team that needs Roquan Smith should be a team that's already kind of set at
Denver.
the other core pieces. Yeah, Denver would be a perfect place for him. I don't know how we would pull it off, but the Denver would be a perfect place by our criteria here. They do have the edge. Well, edge is still a little bit of, the health is the biggest issue for Denver edge wise, but if they're healthy, they have the edge. They definitely have the secondary. Then they have the defensive line. So I guess that was another part. The defensive line for Denver, I think, is going to be super good, like really, really good, because I think Draymond Jones, everyone knows how good he is, but I think DJ Jones is a very underrated addition. Mike Purcell has been really, really good in training camp. And, obviously losing Shelby Harris in the trade to Seattle hurts, but I think they've been able to recuperate, and they have enough guys that are going to be able to, build back.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that DJ Jones might be like the most, like, I mean, I don't even want to like try to be biased or anything, but might be the most like under the radar amazing move by an NFL team this offseason. Like, I mean, when you talk about like the 5 best defensive tackles or something, I mean, I think he's part of that. I think like no one talked about him with the Niners, but he's the guy that, sucked up the run game and all that stuff, like DJ Reader did with the Bengals last year, and the Rams couldn't run at all in the Super Bowl because of DJ Reader stuck up in the middle like that. And I think DJ Jones is perfect for that for the Broncos, who have been missing big bodies on that defensive line the past few years.
Yeah, literally, like it's kind of weird, but like ever since Domata Peckle retired,
Yeah.
they haven't had a
I mean,
run stuffer.
Purcell's been there, but he's also hurt every
Yeah, he's been
single
hurt a
game,
lot.
so.
Yeah.
And it's still, I think it's still a need to have just more big guys on that line, because other than DJ Jones, like having Draymond Jones really as your like interior defensive presence, especially in the run game, is not, what it needs to be, because he's more, I mean, he's a smaller guy, probably 280 or something, and rushes the passer. Like, I think you just need more beef of like 330 guys, and you only have, the Broncos only have one of them, and they didn't have anybody the past 3 years, so at least we do have one, and he is a stud. But definitely need more depth there, because as we saw in the Cowboys game, I thought they were running pretty much all over the Broncos.
Yeah.
And I think that was definitely what shows just not enough big bodies there.
Yeah. And in the draft, they did kind of address it. They took a couple of defensive tackles. I don't know how big they were. I just know that they got a couple of defensive tackles. But yeah, I think at least the day I went to training camp, the run game wasn't working either. Like, I don't know if it was the offensive line or if it was the defensive line, but it was, 1 versus 1, like in terms of the starters versus starters, and the starters offense didn't get anything going run game wise. But yeah, so we'll see how it works when the starters play. Because I think the stars will be good. I think that's been kind of my takeaway with the defense, is that I think the starters are good. I think the starters are going to be a top unit in the NFL. It just depends on the depth, and especially in the front seven, because
exactly.
I think the linebacker depth is definitely an issue, especially the middle linebacker. Like you lose Jonas Griffith, and then you sign Joe Schobert, but like right now your starting linebackers it's Josie Jewell, who's very good, but then like who is it? Is it going to be Alex Singleton? Is it going to be Schobert? Is it going to be somebody else? Like who? Like I don't really know who it's going to be, but outside of like those four, you don't really have anybody there. And then edge, I have a little more confidence with edge because of how well Baron Browning looked against Dallas, but still with the health issues of Bradley Chubb and Randy Gregory, like you don't know how that's going to look. Like just because of the depth. Like I think Malik Reed is good as like a fourth guy, but if he has to come up to another starting role, I'm not sure how it's gonna play. So that's just my biggest issue with the defense, is how is the depth gonna look like if Denver isn't able to stay healthy again.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I thought the secondary depth was pretty good though, with like I mean, Bassey's still here, and like OJ Moody was playing really well. But yeah, exactly as you said, and Baron Browning going to edge and stuff. Not an inside linebacker anymore, so definitely I think a position to look out for. I was kind of mad that when Miles Jack signed with the Steelers, I thought he would have been a great pickup for this defense, just a guy who can like fly around, and I feel like he's still, I'm probably like a top 10 inside linebacker if we get things.
The same with Anthony Barr too. Like, I didn't know we were I didn't even know Denver was in the running to get him.
Yeah, I know.
And then
all
he
of a
signed
sudden
with
it's like,
Dallas.
Cowboys and Broncos.
Yeah, I didn't even know that
stuff.
he would have been great in terms of just depth, and especially now with the Griffith injury. It would have been nice to have him back. AJ Johnson is still a free agent for some reason. So if Denver decides they want to bring him back, that would help a lot, honestly. But I'm not sure if he's still a free agent this deep into the cycle. I'm not sure if he'll get something's got to be wrong. But yeah, so I don't know. That's my biggest concern, is like just the depth with it. But I think the starting wise on the defense, they're going to be fantastic. So I think it pains me to say it, but I think Denver's going to get off to like a really, really hot start because of how good their starting team is. But then as the season starts to go, guys start to wear down, the depth is going to start to show. And I think that they're going to slow down a little bit, which isn't going to fare well for Russ's narrative of like always fading off in the end of the season. Because I don't think it'll be his fault, but I think the team is just going to start to decline a little bit as they head into the postseason, just because of the lack of depth on the defensive end. But, so
yeah, I could see that. I mean, there's still like the waiver stuff and then the trade deadline and things, but nothing really too much happens in the NFL. I also forgot Justin Stranad. Oh, I guess we both. He's another linebacker.
Yeah.
But he's been playing, partially.
Yeah, he's mostly special teams right now.
Yeah.
But I assume with the injury he'll still play more. Not sure. Well, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else we need to talk about. We'll probably go into next week with that stuff.
Next week, I mean, we could do some stuff like just some kind of like, I don't know, something to talk about teams, like whether that's like players we're most like excited about, or ranking players or something. I don't know, just something to keep the conversation like going around NFL. And we can look at, because we haven't really looked at, touched on the other teams too, so we can kind of
I will definitely start to pay attention to more of the other teams. I talked about it before we started recording. I didn't pay attention to any other game. I paid attention to the Seattle game to see
Drew
Lock
about
play.
To say that's the only game I watched. I was literally about to say Drew Lock played well too.
He played really well.
Up until there's always something that like just happens with him, bro. Like, he can play so well, and then some crazy play happens, and all of a sudden he has a terrible game. It's like the Bengals game where he had that freak fumble after we were about he almost let us back, and then the Raiders game where he was really diming up everyone, and then
they kept dropping passes.
And then the Seahawks game, I kind of forget what happened. Like what? Oh, he fumbled.
He got like it was like he took responsibility for it because it was a hot read. Like it was a hot read and he was supposed to make it, but it's like man, like that's not like entirely his fault. Like
I know, but people always harp on him for like these things. It was a blindside hit, like immediately.
And then he catches COVID and he's supposed to play the game yesterday. And he's like legitimately one of the unluckiest quarterbacks I've ever seen. Like everything seems to go wrong for him at every point. And it pains me so much.
I know, dude.
And like I assume for other people who obviously don't like luck, like most of the Broncos fan base, they're like, oh, it's not bad luck, he's just bad. But like some of this is legitimately just awful luck. Like the season, his most important season for his development, his second year, his offensive coordinator gets fired, and they hire one of the worst offensive coordinators I've ever seen in Pat Shermer. And then his number one target, Cortland Sutton, goes down. He himself gets hurt. The guy they drafted from his college, Alberto, he gets hurt. It's a COVID year.
Yeah. And then like, Judy, that's when Judy was dropping everything.
Yeah, his receiver was still dropping everything.
Yeah.
And then the next season, they get a quarterback. The coach hates him. He can't play. Then when he actually does get in, everything still goes wrong.
I know. And then he goes to Seattle, where it's a run-heavy offense and a terrible O-line again. Like, oh, God.
I feel so bad for I want him to succeed so bad.
He needs a chance with like a good team, like just like a set team. Like the Patriots or something. I don't know, but
it's it's so bad. Like I knew it the second the season ended. I was like, man, there's no if Denver does trade him, there's no place that he could go where he'll have a solidified starting role, because most of the teams in the NFL have their guy, or at least the person who they think is their guy. I was like, Washington and Seattle are the only places where he could go and kind of compete, because if he goes to Seattle, it means we traded for Russ. But even now, because of the COVID stuff again, and I don't know, it's just so bad. And I think I said this last year too, but last year I was a Broncos fan, so it was kind of came off a bias. Hopefully it doesn't come off that way this time. Seattle should start Lock, not because he's incredible and he's a phenomenal guy. It's just because he's young, and if he sucks, fine. Then you're bad, and you have your pick at a franchise quarterback next year. And if he's good, then he's good, and you have somebody who you might be able to build around.
you know what Geno Smith is.
Yeah,
Geno Smith
exactly.
is not a starting quarterback. But
Exactly.
Drew Lock has potential to be a literal star. Like he
Yeah.
does. If he can play to his full potential, he can be a star. And he just hasn't like had that many opportunities. He did okay. I understand he had that year 2 opportunity or whatever, and he wasn't that good. But as you said, there's all that stuff around him that happened. And then after that, never got an opportunity. So
Yeah.
it sucks. But
Yeah, it sucks. He's been very, very unlucky. I hope he gets a chance to start. It looked like he was leading the quarterback competition until obviously he got COVID. So hopefully they give him a chance to start next week. Because Geno Smith hasn't looked good in the first 2 games anyway. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. And I also think that it's literally the exact same situation as last year. Like it's the exact same situation. And I hope Pete Carroll is smarter than Vic Fangio, because it's like Geno Smith, he's good, like he's okay. He'll be a game manager, but Locke has the potential to make your offense so much higher. And yes, he also has the potential to make it so much worse, because when he's bad, he's awful.
Mhm.
But you have to give him the opportunity to be good. And if you don't, then you'll never know. And it's just this whole guessing game. But I think Seattle is in a position to where they can much afford to pick Locke, because their team isn't that good. So if they suck, they'll actually be bad instead of just kind of mediocre.
Yeah.
So hopefully they make the right choice, which should be Locke, but we'll see. We'll see what Pete Carroll thinks.
And I'm afraid he'll think.
I'm so afraid of it.
Let me wait. I just want to see, so Drew Lock has played in, I don't even okay, I'll count these games he's started. I mean, he's played 21 games. So that's a rookie season and half of a second season.
Mhm.
And everyone's written him off.
Yeah.
He just hasn't, Justin Fields has pretty much played the same amount of games that Drew Lock has played.
Yeah.
Because Fields started. Okay, never mind. That's
after this season, I think it'll be the same
after
amount.
this season.
Yeah. But
I'll say Trevor Lawrence. Because Trevor Lawrence played all 17, right?
Yeah.
So Drew Lock's only played 4 more games than Trevor Lawrence. So when it's week 5 and Trevor Lawrence has 7 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, is everyone just gonna say he's just terrible? Probably.
Yeah. We'll see. Oh my God. I don't know. It's just such a quarterback is such a hard position to judge.
I know.
At every point. Obviously everyone thought Mitch Trubisky was gonna be good. He still can be, obviously, but there were so many outside factors that played into him having a good 2018 season, and then 2019 just being horrific, and 2020 being so up and down. There's so many factors that play into it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with Locke. We'll see what happens with the Broncos tomorrow. Next week we will talk about that. We'll talk about players we're excited for, teams we're excited for, maybe baseball stuff if something interesting happens, I guess.
And it is a struggle now with the Rockies. I'm back to that state where I'm just not watching any games. I was watching quite a few games a month ago, or I don't know, 3 weeks ago, and they were doing okay because they won 6 in a row.
Yeah, they had a good streak going into the All-Star break.
But now it's just terrible.
It's awful. Oh, it's awful.
The Cardinals game yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
13-0 or something.
Every time we play the Cardinals, I'm like,
yeah,
God, this is so bad. We're 6 and 35 in St. Louis since 2010.
Really?
We're unbelievable, and the record in Los Angeles is even worse. Understandably so, but it's just holy cow, this team is bad.
Yeah,
it'll be tough. I want to like baseball. When the team is good, it's so fun to watch. But I don't know when that's gonna be. I don't know if that's gonna happen this decade. But
yeah,
who knows? They called up Zach Veen to Double-A. So fun.
Oh,
Riley Pint one of the few bright spots, has been
Dude,
playing
I thought
good.
he was retired. I saw that he got
Yeah.
called up. I'm like, hold
And
up.
then
I thought
he
this guy was
retired.
done.
He retired and then he came back, and
I didn't even know he came back.
he's been pitching really, really well. Good for him. Hopefully
Yeah.
he's able to get a shot. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, like they should just call up all of the young prospects and be like, here, just do whatever you want at the
Yeah.
major league level. Figure it out. Learn on the fly. Get us the number 1 pick, please.
Michael Tolia, I think is how you pronounce it. He's been killing it in AAA. I
Mhm.
think.
Yeah.
Damn, Pint was in AAA like this year.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was in. I know he was in Hartford. I think him and Tolia got called up at the same time. So I
I
think they're
think
both
he's
in.
back to Hartford though.
Oh, really?
I
That sucks.
I can't really understand this page, but like the most recent thing says Hartford.
Man, I don't know. He was pitching well,
Yeah.
so we'll see.
Let me see what Tolia is looking like. AAA. Oh, he's only played 9 games, but has 3 homers. He's hitting 3-4. Damn, okay. 1100 OPS, 343 in 9 games at AAA.
It was pretty good. I know Ezekiel Tovar is still killing it in Double-A. I don't know how he hasn't gotten called up yet. I hope he's.
He just released someone like released their prospect rankings, and I think Ezekiel Tovar was like really high.
Let's see. I know the MLB released their like top 30 for every team yesterday, so it might have been that. I didn't get a chance to read it, but let's see. Senzatella tore his ACL. That blows. It really sucks. But oh my goodness, hold on. Oh, there's a lot. The NL West is always like the bottom of the list.
Yeah,
It's-
all of them are AFC West too.
yeah. All right, Rockies. Yeah, Tovar's number 2 on our top 30. Zach Veen's number 1. Zach Veen's gonna be good. He's gonna be really, really good. So he's number 1. Tovar's 2. Adele Amador is number 3. Drew Romo's number 4.
I mean, we're getting like those top 4. I mean, that's a pretty serious top 4.
Yeah.
And with hopefully Montgomery develops.
Yeah, Montgomery's number 6. Gabriel Hughes, who was the guy we drafted this year out of Gonzaga.
Yeah,
I think he's a pitcher. They took him. He's number 5. Sterling Thompson, who we drafted this year, number
Tolia
7.
is like way down here.
Yeah, I think it's just he's a little older. That's why he's not.
I don't even know who Warming Bernabel is, to be honest.
Yeah, I've never heard that guy in my life. What? That's not a real name.
Warming, like when you see the MLB home run thing, tweet that Warming has hit a home run in like 4 years. Like
that's not a real name. That's a fake human being, right? Warming Bernabel. It's gotta be fake. There's no way.
NPC, yeah.
Ryan Vlade is 22, and that sucks because he made his debut like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. Ryan Rollison too.
Mm-hmm.
Did Rollison, has he debuted?
Maybe. I don't know. It says his ETA is 2022.
I mean, it says he's in the MLB.
Okay, so then he probably has. Let's see. Maybe he's on like an IL or something.
Oh, he is, isn't he? Because
Yeah.
he's on the 60 day.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He hasn't debuted, but I think he was supposed to, and then that happened.
He got hurt. Yep. Jaden Hill, he made his debut in Double-A. Low A or something. And that went pretty good. He went like 3 innings, struck out 7. So their prospect list is definitely better than what it was a few years ago.
Yeah.
So which is good. And Elu Harris Montero, thank God they're giving him consistent ABs. He's been raking. So it's very nice, very fun to see.
Yeah, he's great.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to, he's up to 2. Let's go. I was gonna say he has 1 walk in 26 games.
Oh,
He has 2 now. His
I mean-
strikeout to walk ratio is 30 strikeouts and 2 walks.
oh my god.
That's why his OPS is so low because like he's like hammering the ball hard. I guess he only has 1 home run, but he has a lot of doubles. But his on base percentage is only 272 because he only has 2 walks.
It's 272. That's his
Yeah.
OBP. Oh my god. Yeah, he's in 247, 22 hits, and 89 at bats. So not
But like
awful.
recently, let me see. How do you look at like the last like 10 games?
I don't know. But when he's started, he's played very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has 2 walks. He was killing it in AAA though. AAA 310 batting average.
Yeah, he was.
He had 27 walks in AAA as compared to 63 strikeouts. So like,
I guess he's struggling a
Better
little bit.
ratio.
He did get his average up to 297. August 10th, it was at 297. Now it's down to 247.
hmm.
But I love him too. He's got a lot of potential. I don't know
Yeah.
why. Is he like not considered a prospect anymore?
Probably not, because I think he's probably been up for too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or I mean, because he's also 24, so maybe like the age,
Oh, God.
something different. Maybe age has something. I don't know how the prospect rankings work. I don't know if it's has anything to do with age or if it's just kind of if you're in the minors for like, because I know the service time is weird and teams manipulate that a lot, but
Yeah, that is.
I don't know how that works. So I know like the Blue Jays didn't call up Guerrero for like a full season just to keep his service time lower, so that they would have to delay paying him for a year or something like that.
Mhm.
But I don't know.
I think that's it though for today.
Yeah, I think that is it. I think we'll just talk about whatever tomorrow, next week. Talk about the Broncos game, see what stuff stands out. Hopefully no injuries, fingers crossed for that. And yeah, maybe we'll talk about Jokic, Giannis, if either of us are able to watch that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that happens, we will be here. Thank you all for watching. Peace.